conga, no. You can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga, no.
Also, that he's continue dancing.
Pa, pa,
Oh my
pa.
God. So
It is
welcome to the seat.
impossible to play 3 or 4 seconds of that song. That should be a crime, okay?
Oh, guys, so you know
Mrs.
that
Candy, what is up, girl? How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm so happy to have you here, Roberto. I just want to say welcome to the C-Suite Leadership Journey. I'm here just to provide a lot of value to, especially to our Hispanic community and all those entrepreneurs who actually started their adventure as a journey. And actually, I'm bringing a lot of good CEOs, excellent and outstanding CEOs. And you just heard about Roberto. He is on the other side, and he's going to share incredible information. But before he starts talking about himself and everything, I just want to share some few things that you probably don't know about him. So he has a music background. He has very excellent, I would say, a journey where he was writing and singing beautiful and amazing songs. I cannot wait to listen to those. And especially he has a big team. He has 7 members in his team currently. And he's coming here just to provide a lot of good information, but most importantly, he will share more about what he does in his business later on. But I'm going to tell you about his community leadership. He has networking organizations. He has a few of them. And one of them is Stampede Business Club, Hispanic Business Club, the Tampa Bay Business Club, that is one of the most incredible and biggest in the area. And what is more is that he launched in 2020 the Tampa Bay Latin Chamber of Commerce. So right now I want to everybody, because it's gonna start singing and dancing, and here is Roberto. Come on.
Control yourself any longer.
He's like playing already. He's ready to play.
What is up? You're so sweet, Miss Candy. How are you? And hello to everybody watching. Oh my God, it's such an honor to be here with you guys. You're a rock star. So the pleasure and the honor is mine, I promise.
So Roberto, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Maybe some of the people here in this community, they don't know nothing about you. The first time they've seen it, and probably we have a lot of big fans, Raven fans, that have been following you for many years. But let's talk about those people who are completely new. Who are you, where you're from, and how actually get you where you are right now?
Yeah, I'll make it really short and simple, right? So I was born in 1995. I moved to Florida in 1995. I was born and raised in New Jersey, South Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia. Go Eagles, right? And then, then I moved to Florida in 95. And here's what's awesome, right? I come from a very unique entrepreneurship family. And so when the world sees entrepreneurship or business owners, they see restaurants and they see retail shops and they see all of these other things that are acquainted with the word entrepreneurship. So in my upbringing, it was more like we're going to sell pasteles, right? And we're going to sell alcapurrias, and we're going to buy a big property and sell and rent rooms to people that can't afford, big mortgages, stuff like that. So my upbringing, I saw my mom dipping and dabbing in everything from Tupperware to Avon to you name it. She did it, she made it, she created it, she sold it. We had little kiosks and food restaurants in the upbringing. And so that's what I saw as entrepreneurship, right? So guess what? Right before I moved to Florida, like around, I would say, 8 or 9 years old, I was already wanting to start cutting grass, right? For
Really?
neighbors, and just to try to grab any type of money that I can, because that's what I saw my mom and my friends doing, right? And my family, sorry, not friends, but my mom and my family doing. And then so fast forward, I get into 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, right? And I'm selling candy out of my book bag.
Oh,
And
really?
so until I got caught. When I got caught, I just figured a way of not take so much to school, but I was still selling candy. I got caught because my book bag was filled with candy instead of books. But nobody told me not to do that, right? I
Yeah.
don't know any better, and all the kids are buying from me. I totally forgot that the book bag was meant for books, but I learned from that experience. It was a very valuable one, right? Moving forward, put the candy at the bottom, put the books on top. Then, then I moved to Florida in 1995. I was working in like the beaver industry, so it was an amazing time because it was the communication boom of our lifetime.
Oh,
And
really?
so, a lot of people talk about right place and right time, or other people like to refer to the word as luck. I like to refer it to as being prepared when an opportunity arises. See, that's when destiny meets. So I graduated high school at 18 years old, 17 years old. And right when I turned 18, I missed something, by the way. At 17, I opened up my first Beeper cell phone store with my cousin. And then when I graduated high school, he was supposed to give me a percentage. So move forward a year, and I'm like, hey, I graduated. I'm about to be 18. Where's my are about to lose this business? And I'm like, how? So of course I'm in high school. I don't know what he's doing with his finances, right? And so I go to my mom. He tells me, hey, instead of giving you a percentage, why don't you just buy it? I believe that you can make this work. So I went to my mother. I bought my company at 18 years old.
18.
By the
You
age
bought
of
your first
21,
company?
by the age of 21, hold on. Okay, by the age of 21, I was already a seven-figure earner, had multiple stores in the area because of Voice Stream and T-Mobile. And I'm not going to go into all the intricacies. That's a very long process of how it happened. But I was in the right position at the right time. I said T-Mobile, it wasn't T-Mobile, it was Area Communications that then became Voice Stream. So Voice Stream was like, hey, you go sign leases, we'll fund your stores. So I ended up with almost 20 locations in the Tampa Bay region. So I had many successful exits during that period of time. So about 26, 27, that I opened up a clinic, opened up a restaurant, and then Metro PCS came into town. So I was like, wait, I have to open a bunch of Metros before I leave the industry. So I opened up a bunch of Metro PCS stores. Then I left the industry for good. And in 2008, while I had these Metro stores, I signed a huge record deal, became #1 in the country in music, traveled the world for about 2 or 3 years, had several top 10s, did big stuff in Central and South America. Didn't like the business per se or the shadiness behind the scenes, had a couple of disagreements when it came to contractual things. So in 2013, I come back to Tampa, fully focused on business, and then opened up a media company in 2015, right? 2017 launched the Tampa Business Club, and we 2020 launched the Tampa Bay National Chamber of Commerce. And today we are here with some of the most influential local entrepreneurship community organizations in the area. And I love to say why this is important is because we're not focused on making you money. We're not focused on creating revenue for you. We are focused on creating valuable relationships. Because ultimately, nobody likes to do business with people they don't like. We do business with people we like, we trust, we get along with. And there's many times that me and someone won't do business for whatever reason, but I like them so much that I will refer them 1,000 times over, right? And so the Tampa Business Club and these networking organizations have been created to foster that relationship growth, which I like to call relationship marketing. So people talk about social media marketing, and I don't know, I own a media firm, Google marketing, and all these different types of marketing. And then here we come with the word relationship marketing, because in today's world, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And we all like to do business with people we like. So the Tampa Business Club creates that opportunity to bring people together. And that is the entire story.
That amazing, Roberto. I can't believe all the story and the journey that you have been having. It is completely incredible. I'm so proud of you. This is something that it actually shows that somebody just burned with the entrepreneurship like in their veins and your heart, because that started when you were a kid, right?
For sure, 110%. Yep. And you know, hey, dime con quien anda que veré quién eres. Isn't that something that they taught us as we were growing up? So I am blessed to see that entrepreneurial spirit in my family, even if it was selling bananas or selling grapes or selling yams or yuca or pasteles or alcapurrias, but it was still the value of going to your backyard, producing something and getting rid of it for a profit that is so valuable, because when you learn that lesson so early, you're able to apply it to 1 million other things in your lifetime. And it's all because of that upbringing. So I'm not sure if my mom or anybody in my family would ever see this, but thank you, familia.
That is awesome. That is really awesome that your family actually give you that strength, that legacy to continue on doing what you're doing. You're doing an incredible. You're impacting so many leaders here in the Tampa Bay area. And I see yourself like not just impacting the area of Tampa Bay, just globally. And that is something that, you know, that's why we are here, because we go and spread the word with everywhere. You know, I have clients in Australia, I have clients in Europe and Brazil and many places, and they're probably watching right now. So I just want to ask you, Roberto, because I know how you become an entrepreneur. You didn't become, you were since you were a kid, right? So what has been the biggest challenge that you ever have during the journey?
You know, I think a lot of time when people answer this, and I'm so glad you asked this because I'm going to answer from a different perspective, right? I've had thousands of challenges, and I believe that a lot of these challenges are shared by millions of entrepreneurs. But one of the things that I will say that was my biggest challenge was actually making it at such an early age. Now, by the age of 21, I was already in the 7-figure world, right? And not having anybody that's ever done what you've done around you to guide you and to tell you, hey, slow down. Expansion is great, but it will drain you if you're not prepared, if you're not organized, if you're not disciplined. And so what happens is we look at a pool, right? Especially in Florida, and you sit your pool outside and you fill it up to the top, and it's filled today, but come back a month later with this sun, it's evaporated, it's halfway gone, right?
Yes.
And so if you're not constantly filling, or like I would say in the marketing world, feeding the beast, eventually it all stops growing, right? So we can't produce fruit from trees we don't harvest. And so what happens is while you're in and you're making it, you have no one telling you, plant these different trees. Please, you know, get disciplined here, get disciplined there. Don't do this, don't do that. You don't have anyone. You're just rolling with it. And so one of the most valuable things that I used to hear as a kid was easy come, easy go.
Oh, wow. That's a very limiting belief. What happened with that?
And I never understood what that meant. But when you're in the entrepreneurship world and you're not focused on the big picture, you're only focused on what's easy, the same way it comes in, it's the same way it'll go out.
Yes.
And my biggest advice for people is learn the OPM system. Because money is easy, it's very hard to enter your bank account, but it's very easy to leave it. So hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? And learn the system. There's a reason why in America, credit is important. Other people's money is important. Banks are important. There's ways to maximize the system and never be in debt. But there's a lot of things that we're not taught when we're younger. We're learning them afterwards, which is the best part of life because that is what's called life, right? That's what we get out of life. Life is a learning curve.
Yeah.
But I think every human on this planet, when they get to 40 years old, looks back and goes, If I knew then what I know now.
Yes, that is a really, really important point because I remember when I started the journey as an entrepreneur, well, I didn't start like you because I started like being an employee, having like a straight line. Hey, you have to marry, have kids, get this, all like whatever the society was telling you that you need to do next until I break the pattern, right? So I feel like, no, this Latina is gonna stop being secured in a job and then I'm gonna start the journey. And that was one of the hiccups that I actually have because the moment that you start making the money, it was easy to go away. Like you get so like, oh, I need to get this, I need to get that. And then I was not in my business, I was not so sustainability, like, okay, so I have this base of money, so I can invest in this and multiply. So that's something that I learned like 2 years later in business. So I'm glad that you shared that. So what would be the 3 steps or takeaways or anything that you want to share to the community right now who is watching in LinkedIn and YouTube, listening in Spotify or here in Facebook, that they need to actually step into it because that's one of the biggest challenges that they may have?
Yeah, I'll tell you. The biggest 3 big pieces of advice that I can give anybody in this world, in this current market is number 1. The biggest lie that could ever be told to you as an entrepreneur is that it takes money to make money. That's a lie. That is a lie. So if you're living your life believing that it takes money to make money, remember, that's not true. Number 2, why is it not true? Because we live in a world of 2 things, opportunity and relationships. If you understand the opportunities that are out there and you do your homework and you study before being irrational or whatever, right? Impulsive. Remove the impulsiveness, right? And do your homework. Understand all opportunities because we're all given the same 24 hours. So I'll put 10 people in front of you, and in 24 hours, each person will have a different result. And the first person to have very minimal result, the last person will make 100,000 in one day. And then the next day, I'll put everybody together and ask what the results were. And everybody would hear those results in the room. And then I would say, what's the difference between number 1 through 10 if we were all given the same 24 hours?
Yes.
It's not ability. It's not ability because we're all able. It's not the capabilities because we're all capable. It's not the knowledge because the knowledge is out there. So identify what makes A less successful than what makes the number 10, right?
Yes.
More successful. Identifying knowledge is power. That's the number 2. Knowledge is power. Don't invest. Don't think about revenues until you have the right knowledge. It is important. Number 3, nothing will ever work if you don't have discipline.
Discipline.
Motivation, we all have. Ambition is what makes the motivated person succeed. The lack of discipline is what makes the ambitious person fail.
Oh my God. Guys, you gotta write this down. Repeat the last sentence, Roberto.
Very simple. We all have motivation,
Mhm.
but it takes an ambitious person to get that motivation and to start to succeed. You must be ambitious. Without ambition, there's no fuel, right?
Mhm.
With no discipline, the ambitious person fails.
The ambition versus, yeah. So discipline, guys. Be disciplined. That's what yes, that's the key. I was,
And I'll tell you one more thing. I'll tell you one more thing. Why is discipline so important?
uh-huh.
Because consistency beats knowledge any day of the week.
Yes, guy. Oh my God. So the first step that you guys gotta note about Roberto first is a big lie that to make money needs more money. You actually don't need to have money to make more money.
No,
Because
oh, by the way, I ask any 13-year-old out there on YouTube or TikTok or any of these platforms that started getting $50,000 checks in the mail without their mother knowing what the heck was going on.
exactly, exactly. That is really true. That is really true. And knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, but taking action is even more powerful. You know, knowledge is you get the information, you get everything on YouTube. You can get so much information, but you gotta ask, and especially when Roberto was telling you right now, is that it's really good to have somebody, a guidelines, a guide next to you to tell you what is the next step, what is the next step. So you're not going to burn the boats really quickly. And then the third one that was very important, discipline, because ambition is the fuel, but also the lack of discipline, it will take you to the failure and that completely failure and closing your business completely. So consistency, yes. Oh my God, that is really, really important. Guys, Roberto's the king here right now. He is
And
the
so
king.
you said a very important word, action. So not promoting my book, but I'm gonna throw this in there. So I have a book being released very soon, and it's called Mad. Only mad entrepreneurs succeed. And it has a guy breaking through the computer through the book cover. And so, of course, because anger and mad are similar, but this has zero to do with anger, right? And has everything to do with one of the words that you said a second ago with its action. And
Mhm.
so MAD, M stands for motivated. A stands for activated. And when we talk about the activated part of the book, we're talking about taking action. And
Action.
so this is why I summarized it earlier and said, listen, if you're ambitious and you take that ambition to a motivated person, they become ambitious, they start succeeding, right?
Yes.
But then here's the D in MAD is back to discipline. And so we can take all the action because I know so many successful people, entrepreneurs that are constantly bouncing every 2 to 3 years to a different field, and they succeed every single time. If they're not selling Mary-Kay, they're doing Avon. If they're not a realtor, they're selling cars the next 2 years. Then they're doing health insurance, and they're doing this. And because they're so lovable, they're so amazing, their personality is so great, their sales skills are through the roof, and I can keep on and on and on, they succeed. But the common denominator is that they lack discipline. And so when we look in our circle of entrepreneurs and we ask ourselves, why is it that this person or this person or this person every 2, 3, 4 years is jumping to career?
Mhm.
A lot of that has to do because they tap out on their capabilities and they never dive into the world of discipline. So the minute that they get what they can get out of that sponge, they go into another sponge to try to see how they can juice that one. And there's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people like that and it works for them.
Yeah.
The only problem with that scenario is that if you're going to do that and be that person for the rest of your life, make sure you're saving 20% of every single circle that you're part of. Because when you're 70 years old, I can't have you broke coming to me and Mrs. Camden talking about, now we want to be disciplined. I'm like, God, you got 10 years left of your life. It's too late.
It's too late. Yes.
Don't
It is
come
too
to us
late.
when you're 70 talking about, I want to save today. I want to be disciplined today, when you had a lifetime to do it. So
Wow. So congratulations about your book. When it's gonna be launching?
very soon, still tying up the loose ends, but we're looking forward to it. It's going to be basically a lot of what we spoke about today. So that's pretty awesome too.
Beautiful, beautiful. So guys, you gotta be looking it up too. His book is coming up, so please follow him, Roberto Borrero. He is actually everywhere. So you can find him anywhere, and he's very approachable. He will reply to you anytime. So I'm gonna leave his information below, his website and email, personal email if you need it. So Roberto, you wanna leave like a last comment or last takeaway, this is what I call the big boom, like, hey guys, this is what you need to do moving forward for now.
Yeah, I think that we actually just touched that with those 3 tips. It's really important for people to understand, that while you're taking action, never stop gaining knowledge, because the minute we stop learning, we stop living, right? And so what we need is knowledge to be power, because as long as we have knowledge, we have power. And if you have power, you're powerful, right? And so it's important to always wake up every single day wanting to be powerful, but never forgetting that the discipline behind all of that is what will guarantee your longevity. Your longevity lies in the amount of discipline that you apply to yourself. Nobody in the world is responsible for your future, and no one is responsible for your guarantees. The only guarantee we have is that we're all going to die one day. There is no other guarantee.
No.
That's the only guarantee in life. Now, that being said, you have to try to wake up every day to be your best, most disciplined, most powerful. And I always like to say, once you get to the level where you feel good about yourself, start giving, because you're never going to get a bigger reward in life than that of many people that you touch, help, influence.
Yes.
Your reward and your blessings ain't coming from your investments. They're coming from the amount of people that you touch and help get to the next level.
Yes.
That is your reward. That is your blessing. If you're watching this video, remember, when you die, money disappears, and there's only one thing you have left, and that's the memories that you left behind.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's a legacy that we build during the journey that we are building. That's beautiful. Oh my God. Thank you, Roberto, for being here. I'm so grateful to have you, for you to take the time to speak to this community, and for the people who are here to maybe want to connect with Roberto. So Roberto, do you have any event coming up, or anything that you want to promote, or anything that you want all the people to jump in and be part of your network?
Follow Tampa Business Club. You're in the local community, Tampa Business Club, Instagram, Facebook, or on Eventbrite. Same thing, Tampa Bay Latin Chamber of Commerce. We're looking to get into the Latino community. We just received a $500,000 grant from the federal government, backed by Kathy Castor, and we're rolling that out in partnership with the Tampa Bay Way. And it's for a Latin Tech Accelerator. So it's an amazing time to be in the Tampa Bay region. For the Latin Tech community, amazing time to be part of that community. We're working right now to have that matched with Netflix. So cross our fingers, right? So that we'll have even more funds for that community. But to be able to be a path of opportunity for our Latin Tech brothers and sisters from all over the globe, and to be a part of the Tampa Bay region, and know that they're not going to Silicon Valley, but they're coming to Tampa. Or the Tampa Bay region, for that matter, is an amazing thing for our area, for our community. And it's such a blessing to be part of the Tampa Bay region today, because we are growing at speeds that nobody thought possible. And for all of those local politicians that stopped or wanted to stop Tampa Bay from growing and keep it a retirement city for the rest of its life, them days are over. Tampa Bay is on the map. We are here to stay.
Awesome. All right, guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Roberto. Please make sure that if you have any questions, please comment below. He is part of this community, and he will be able to reply for any questions that you may have. Please make sure that every Tuesday we have this incredible live event, and I'm bringing every CEO that I met during my journey, and he is a really excellent friend of mine. So remember, guys, you are in the right place. And also live from your heart, because that's where the magic happens. So now we're gonna close with this amazing, are you ready, Roberto?
No, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet.